Aka o'sha yutib ulab qo'ydim. 5 minutda boshlasak bo'laversa kerak menimcha. Alaykum assalom.
Kim bu boy? Ko'zi qora.
All right. So first of all, am I audible right now?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Okay, if you're ready, I'm gonna start recording. Can I start recording? Akhmadxo'ja aka. Boshlayman уже?
Go.
Okay. Assalomu alaykum hammaga. Bugungi webinarimiz Akhmadxo'ja Abrorxo'jayev bilan The Student of Kyoto Universities of Foreign Studies Global Management o'qir ekanlar. O'zbek tilida qilamizmi, ingliz tilidami?
İngiliz tili qila qolaylik, because I prepared everything in English.
Okay, okay. Bo'ldi, bo'lmasa boshlaylik. Men sekin qilaman.
Sure. First of all, assalamu alaikum to everyone. It is a true pleasure for me to be here right now because I'm going to be dead honest with you. This is the first time that I'm ever doing a webinar. I'm quite shaking right now. I'm having, butterflies in my stomach right now because I've never done this before. And hopefully, thank you very much for Bustan community that they gave me the golden opportunity to one more time to have this wonderful experience. And today we're going to be talking about primarily about Japan. And I'm going to be sharing with you some good insights about Japan, talking about the benefits and good sides of this country. And especially, I'm going to be briefly explaining you my personal path, what I've done, and I'm going to be sharing you, and I'm going to be sharing with you that, some piece of information that you should know about me, about my path as well. So if we can start, could you please, leave plus in the chat so that we can start, so that we can move on. Okay. Okay. Okay. Sure. Thank you very much. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very interesting question. How many of you have an old old picture from your childhood? It should be a picture that mainly shows you yourself back when you were, like, I don't know, when you were, sorry. So a photo that shows that you were like very young, like overall, like a picture from your childhood. How many of you have this? So how many of you have a picture from your childhood?
I have mine.
Great. So the reason why I'm asking you is that how many of you can take this picture and just look at it? So how many of you have this ability to take the picture that doesn't matter, like physically or just how many of you can do this? I really want everyone to do this right now because this is very, because this is the sweetest moment of whole my webinar. So I really hope that you took the picture of your childhood. And the reason why I'm asking you to take the old picture of yourself, an old picture back like 10, 11, 12 years ago, because if you look to the next slide, you will clearly see that this is the old photo of me and the most recent photo that I took of myself. And the difference between the first and the second photo is that here I'm just in a kindergarten. So I'm not someone who is academically gifted. Here I'm someone who even to learn English, innocent kid in a current, and the man that you see on your left is someone who is talking to you, is someone who accepted many things, and is someone who have been admitted to the Japan's top university, Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. And the difference between me back 15 years ago and me right now is that I have gone through a lot of things, and I have gone through many, many things. And since that time, everything, mindset, tastes, preferences, everything about me have changed. And the reason why I am showing you the old picture of mine is that nowadays it is really, really common for us to compare ourselves with top admit students, right? So how many of you know people who are studying at Harvard, Johns Hopkins, Stanford, Yale? I know those universities are great. I know that these universities are indeed the true missions that you have to strive for. And by saying this, I don't try to say that, oh, don't apply to US, like you have to sacrifice a lot of things. No, always aim for the best. Always, no matter what, where the education is the best for you, no matter what country has the best academic quality of a major that you're planning to, all the time go for it. But remember one thing, even if you're not will be able to, if even if you're not will be able to do something that you planned for a long time, even if you didn't, even if you didn't apply to the dream university, even if you couldn't get accepted to a country, for example, Switzerland, Japan, Korea, America, if you are not accepted, or at least if you haven't completed the mission of your whole life, such as learning a language or doing something else, just take an old picture of yourself and just remember when you started, how massive the gap in an intelligence, in appearance, in experience, in expertise there is between you back like 10 plus years ago and right now. And ask yourself a very interesting question. Do you think that when you were at this age, you realized that you will be sitting here and listening to me, and you will be thinking and passionate about things that you're right now passionate and curious about? And the reason why I'm telling you is that comparison is good as long as you keep it healthy and as long as you keep it on its, on its special boundaries. But when you are over comparing yourself, you literally lose the all hope and potential that you have in yourself. And I'm telling it with the 100% guarantee, because I always compare myself to others. And as a solution and as a great way to escape it, I just look at this photo and I remember myself. I remind myself where I started. So ladies and gentlemen, so the number one thing that I want you to get from this webinar is that comparing yourself to others is okay. It is natural. Those feelings, they have been, they will be, and they still exist. It is okay. It is natural. But make sure that you stop comparing yourself as soon as you remember your past. As soon as you look at the old picture of yourself and you remember the starting point. And the reason why I'm starting the whole speech from my old photo is that the young boy that you're seeing on your right have never ever imagined that he would be accepted to the to the Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. Because let me actually tell you where my path started. So everyone has their A, B, C, D, E, F, Gs. I mean, I'm talking about the points. And let me share with you my A, B, C, D points. So basically, I was growing up as an ordinary kid, and I was initially planning to study merely in Uzbekistan. So I was looking for a Singapursky Westminster, and I was looking forward to some Jahan Tillare. So I was only focusing and I was preparing myself morally to the universities in Uzbekistan. So I have never imagined that I would be even curious about Japan. And when I first found out that it is feasible to study abroad, to apply to America, to study in your dream country, I first wanted to do it America. I first wanted to do it USA. I wanted to apply to SD Johns Hopkins, SD Johns University, and I wanted to study at Kobe University. So those were my priorities. And you may ask me, Why not IVs? Why not Harvard, UPenn, or others? Because on that time, I didn't have this passion to study there because I literally was drowning myself and I couldn't really believe that I would be able to do that. And I convinced my parents. I told them that I see myself studying abroad and doing some passionate things there. And as I said before, after I convinced my parents, my main goal was US. So I was only focusing on US. But while I was preparing my portfolio for US, some personal problems have popped up. Some personal problems have appeared. And the reason why I'm not telling you, because it's obvious these are the personal. So I don't want to go into details, unfortunately. And, you know, when I faced this kind of challenge, I was lost. And no, I think I was lost. I wasn't really lost. I was shocked and I got hopeless because I'm seeing that my peers, that my classmates, they are massively applying for American USA. They filling out their common apps. Uh, they'd be like choosing the university. They'd be like sending their whole like essays, their whole portfolios, and boom, boom, first, second, third, and fourth. They're applying one by one, and then I'm getting jealous because of that problem. I'm not even able to at least submit my documents. For you to better understand how massive this problem were, how massive this problem was, is that I couldn't even submit my documents because I was scared of the consequences that I could have. And immediately, my initial goal to study in Uzbekistan have recurred, have appeared. Because first, no boundaries. My parents are okay. They're telling me, but right now, because of that problem, I can't do this. And imagine how morally and how emotionally drowned I was, how hopeless I felt after that. I was literally crying, saying like, no, why? Why me exactly? And for about a month, I was thinking that, oh my God, I have to now study in Uzbekistan and then fly to Russia to work there for 10 hours a day and then to send money to home and then working there like for a qara ish or something like that. I was thinking, the one of the things that I hate about myself is that whenever something happens bad, I'm thinking all negatives. So I'm thinking myself this way. And my parents, they clearly understood my position. And out of nowhere, they approached me and said, we can, I mean, how can I actually explain that? We understand that right now you're not in a situation to pursue your dream, but let us fulfill at least one thing you wish to do. And on that time, I was animeshnik. So yes, I watch animes a lot. And on that time, apart from studying in USA, I was really hoping to visit one day Japan. So I turned to them and said, okay, if I'm not able to study in USA, then let me at least visit Japan for at least 10 days so that I can feel the vibe, so that until the moment that I'm going to be facing my fate, let me enjoy for the last time the moments where I'm going to be doing, when I'm going to be, like walking down the street of Japan or something like that. And they agreed. They sent me to Japan. I got my visa. They sent me to Japan. I'm walking there. I'm having all those funs. I'm visiting all those cities, that like renowned places. I'm having a little fun, nothing much. And then I found out that when I fell in love with Japan, with the quality, with everything that Japan is giving you in terms of education, culture, mindset, I told them, what if I study in Japan? Because I clearly know that in US, that's it. I can't do it. That's it. But what about Japan? What about the other options? And when I described all this affection and love that I have gained there in Japan, they couldn't resist it. They said, well, sen aniq kelajagini ko'ryapsanmi o'ta Yaponiyada? And then I said, yes. And then they asked me, hop, agar sen kelajagini o'sha yerda ko'rayotgan bo'lsang, biz senga nima qilib bera olamiz? And I said, well, just support me. Just support me and please solve my financially related problems. They agreed. I submitted my documents. I worked full-time with Reva Consulting. And Reva Consulting is one of those places that they've been working for a long time, for about 8 years, with Japan. And I actually purchased a full-time support from them. And Alhamdulillah, I got into Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. So this is the whole path that I started. This is the whole main story of mine, which made me to study in Japan and actually convinced and served as a first step to start living and purchasing Japan. And then you may ask me another question. So why Japan? Of course, right now we have gathered here so that you can listen to me and I could talk about a little bit of Japan more. So the number one question that you may ask me, why Japan? First of all, it's a little bit of fancy reason why you should study in Japan, but it's naturally authentic Japan. It's like naturally authentic country that you can ever find apart from Switzerland. Because even the photo that you are seeing right now, I myself have took it. Believe me or not, but this photo, I personally took it when I was in Japan. And even this photo, even this photo of bamboo trees, I myself have took it. And you can literally see that how beautiful and how Japanese nature is wonderful, is phenomenal. And the number one reason, as I said before, it's naturally authentic. And let me show you some highlights that I took from my last Japan trip. So as you can see, the first picture, it's one of the busiest areas, one of the busiest districts, one of the busiest crossing lines in Japan, in Tokyo, called Shibuya. The second photo that you're seeing, this is my regular breakfast there when I was in the hotel, when I was enjoying my breakfast. And the third photo that you can see, this is a pagoda, or on another words, this is a temple in Kyoto. And the fourth photo is also from Kyoto. It's also one of the temples up there. And you can see that Japan is wonderful and Japan is beautiful from every side, from every side. And another reason why you should consider Japan as one of the options is that it's one of the cleanest and safest places in the world, especially for women. Now, I've worked with a lot of students, and especially with a lot of girls who really want to apply apply abroad, and they didn't have any of those concerns. They didn't have any of those problems in terms of financially, in terms of documents, in terms of choosing university. But the only problem that their parents had is that, is it safe place? I mean, is America or Germany or Korea a safe place for girls? And I can confidently say that Japan is one of those places that you, if you're a girl, can actually study there, because the policies and the rules and the rules are very great, that literally women feel like queens with no problems. And who asked this question? And Boy Mirzaev Ismail John asked a really great question. What about natural disasters? Well, yes, indeed, there are a lot of, earthquakes. There are a lot of volcano explosions sometimes, time to time. I mean, not a lot of, but still may happen. I mean, you should also understand that there's no perfect country, right? So for example, tell me the good sides of USA, and I can talk about the bad sides of USA. Or for example, talking about the good sides of Japan, I can also talk about bad sides of Japan. Or for example, talking about Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan has a lot of bad sides and good sides as well. So you should clearly understand that there's not a perfect country, but we should aspect only good sides of any other country that you're looking for. And for me to exemplify the second argument that you should actually pursue Japan if you're really, if you're a girl and you want to save this place in the world, let me actually tell you that there are really great policies. The first photo that you're seeing right now is a train in Tokyo, I mean in overall Japan, that has a special car that only womanizes. So this is the womanized part of train system. And this card that you're seeing here is only for women. So for you to understand how Japan cares about their women is that they even allocated a special train card for women so they can feel safer. And this will serve as a as a solution to escape the sexual harassment or to any other those dirty things. And if a man, doesn't matter, on a purpose or accidentally enters one of those cars, he will be charged. And trust me, the amount of money that this, like a man will have to pay is insane. The second photo that you can see is a 24/7 regular patrol, I mean regular control of police, that if something happens in the street, you can turn to the nearest police officer and then talk about your problem or something that happened. And the fourth photo that you're seeing here, right now is actually located, if I'm not mistaken, in Kyoto or Osaka, if I'm not mistaken. But this is the fancy way of police officers to to travel across the whole region, to across the whole country, so that they are sure that they have so that they ensure the fact that everyone is safe. So this is one of those things. And a fourth photo is that you can clearly see that the train is over that the train is over polluted, that there are a lot of people right now, but no one is panicking. For example, I'm sure that many of you use like metro on daily basis, and when the metro is getting over, when there are a lot of people on train, and when there are a lot of like when overall the subway is grounded, everybody's making noise, everybody's screaming, everybody's laughing hardly. But there in Japan, even though there are a lot of people, nobody makes even a single sound, because they understand that this is a public place, and public place should be quiet. And another reason why you should actually study and pursue your bachelor's or master's degree in Japan is that this is the country of technology. Now, when I say technology, I don't try to mean AI. So AI and technology, they can be somehow correlating to each other. But when I say technology, I mean this. The first photo that you're seeing here is a specialized cafe that in which you get to serve it by special robots. But these robots are controlled by people, by disabled people who are not physically able to move or at least make money for their livings. So that's why Japan, as a solution for those people, have combined the technology and humanity and launched this kind of restaurant in which you get to serve it by a robot. But at the same time, behind that robot, there is a disabled person who you can talk freely without no problems, where a disabled person gives you whole services. The second photo that you're seeing is a machine that makes you coffee. You just come to the special cafe, you pay money, and then the robot, no human, robot makes you delicious coffee. And trust me, I personally have tried this. First, I was a bit skeptical about this. When I tried the coffee, oh my God, it was the best. The third photo that you're seeing here is a hotel. Is a one of the hotel that you are booked and you're checked in by a robot, so you can literally talk to them. So if you have some concerns, or if you want to ask something, you just turn to the robot. you insert of your details or your documents, and then robot gives you a response so that they can help you. And the fourth photo is actually fancy robot. So this is robot, if I'm not mistaken, this is a delivery robot. And this is one of those places, and Japan is one of those places that actually supports the idea that your food should be delivered by the robot. So if you're looking for a country that has the greatest and one of the decent options to study robot science, or technology, or something like engineering, so Japan is really like decent option. The fourth reason why you should consider Japan is that it's one of the best countries in which you can solidly build your career and strong workplace mindset. So I'm sure that many of you have heard the concept of ikigai. So ikigai is originally found in Japan, and this is the right mindset for you to build in overall in your life, in real world, so that you can combine something that you love with your profession. You can, I mean, ikigai is one of those formulas that you can apply in your daily life. I mean, in overall your concept in your whole life, so that you can combine something you love, your job, and then when you combine it, boom, you end up with the perfect solution, with the perfect way of pursuing your life. And in Japan, you're paid really great. I mean, you have, I mean, if you're working, I don't know, as a teacher, as an engineer, or as an accountant, you can get you can be paid a lot. I mean, if especially if you're working for a very prestigious company workplace. So Japan is one of those places, is also one of those places where you can build your career path. You can build your career path so that after your graduation, you can make a lot of money. I mean, make a lot of money, and actually to make a really great profit. And now let's talk about the sweetest part that all of you guys are now waiting for this. What are the top universities of Japan? And what are the decent options that you can choose whenever you're looking for a Japanese university, whenever you're considering Japanese universities? The first university, I've highlighted top four universities across the whole Japan. The first one is University of Tokyo. The second one is the University of Kyoto. Third is Waseda, and fourth, Kyoto University of Foreign Studies, the university that I personally got in. So Kyoto is the perfect place if you want to study engineering. So if your major is engineering or bioengineering, you can actually apply to Tokyo University, and there you can actually pursue your engineering sphere. If you're looking for the faculty that focuses on chemistry, bioengineering, or still the same engineering, you can also think of the University of Kyoto. And unfortunately, I really wanted to apply to University of Kyoto, but unfortunately, I missed the deadlines. Sorry, it just happens all stuff. Waseda University, that is located in Tokyo. This is also one of those places where you can pursue your political science. I mean, you can study political science, international relations, and study law as well. So I have a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends who are studying at Waseda University, and they're telling, and I mean, they're overall commenting Waseda as the decent option, as a cool option, as a place that indeed you can go and study about. And the last university is Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. So Kyoto University of Foreign Studies is mainly focused on linguistic spheres. So if you want to learn Japanese or learn about any other foreign languages, you can apply to Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. But the faculty that I have applied and got admitted to is the global engagement. So global engagement means like those economics, those international relations, those diplomacy, political science. This is all those global subjects. They have been gathered in one engagement, in one faculty, in one course, and then they name it the global study, and they teach you everything about global spheres and global understandings as well. So now let's get to the point how you can actually apply to Japanese universities. So how many of you know a special, app? I mean, okay, let me actually make this question clear. How many of you know what Common App is? How many of you have Common App? How many of you have Common App? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Common App, when you want to apply to American universities, right? But in Japan, you apply through TAO. And the TAO is the exactly Japanese version of Common App. So TAO stands for the admission office. You simply fill out it in the same way you fill out your regular Common App. You choose university, you check the deadlines, and as long as it's appropriate and as long as you are on time, you apply there through Common App. And the same way I did. I applied through Common App and the results were announced in I applied through TAO. I applied through admission office, and my results of acceptance was announced in TAO. And the second thing that you should consider are your academics, of course. So if you have 7+ IELTS, and if your SAT, although it is optional, you have more than 140 and 1,400, it is okay. You're in a safe zone. Japan doesn't really require SAT, but if you do have more than this, you're in the right track. You're in the safe zone. Because IVs, talking about IVs, if you have 7.5 plus IELTS, and if you have 1,500 plus SAT, then you're in the safe zone. And the same thing works with the Japan. If you have 7 plus and 1,400 plus SAT, that's it. You're on a good track. I mean, that's it. You're in a safe zone. You shouldn't worry about this. But still, SAT is optional. The second one, of course, your portfolio, your ACs, something like volunteers, internships should have, and make sure that those ECs and those startups, those internships, those volunteers, and those extracurricular activities are related to your major. So make sure you don't do only volunteering. Make sure you don't do only studying SAT. Make sure you don't do only like project managing. Make sure you vary your portfolio. Make sure you show that you've been there, you've been here, you've been there, you participated there. Uh, what happened? Sorry. So yeah, make sure that you're doing this, and following things is supplemental essays. So if in so if in US admissions you should have um, three types of essays, which are personal statement, recommendation letter, and then supplemental essays. In Japanese universities, you have only supplemental essay. So supplemental essay is something like, what is the purpose of you pursuing, your bachelor's degree in Japan? So what are your initial thoughts about this university? Why do you want to apply to this university? Or talk about the background or how you can benefit the education that you will soon get in from Japan. So these are or from this university. So these kind of questions you're asked and you have to elaborate it. So in Japanese, way of applying, you have only supplemental essays. And then of course you have interviews. So if in most of the cases, if in US admissions, the fact that you are invited into an interview is a rare stage. In Japanese, it's mandatory. So you have to pass you literally have to pass the interview process. Why? Because a Japanese way of evaluating you is individual. So it's face to face. They want to see you. They want to feel you through the screen. They don't want you to talk about yourself, about your purpose, about your passion through the written form, through the written version, but they want to feel you through the interview. They want to understand how you can verbally how you can verbally explain your purpose, your targets, your ambitions. And of course, you have to pay the application fee. So if some of the US universities, if some of the US universities do not have application fee, most, I would say 90% of the whole Japanese universities, they do have application fee and you have to pay. So be ready for paying application fee, because I personally paid like 220 bucks, like including all taxes and including all commissions. And then you have to, you literally have to show your bank statement, because one of the one of the disappointing things about Japan that I personally acknowledge is that Japanese universities and overall Japanese system, they do not give scholarships. Yes, you heard it right. They do not give scholarships. They do give you scholarships, but only after the first semester. So how it works? So if you are admitted to the university, right? So you're admitted to a specific university, right? You have to pay for the first semester straight away. And then when you're going to be moving from the first to the second semester, then according to your performance, according to how well you studied during the first semester, the university itself will give you the scholarship. They will give you the grant. They will give you the stipendia. And this is actually good, because if you will indeed show your whole potential during the lectures, during the studies, and if you're going to be maintaining your GPA on a high, they will actually grant you with the scholarship, with all those stuff. And for example, I also personally paid for the first semester, so I paid for about 6K. I paid $6,000 for my first semester at Kyoto University of Foreign Studies. And then I was told that if I'm going to be performing well, if I'm going to be studying okay, and if I'm not going to be, if I'm not going to be lazy, if I'm going to be, studying okay and maintaining my GPA on a high, there are really certain ideas and certain percentage possibilities that I'm going to be given a grant. And yeah, talking about the scholarship, you'll get it only from the second semester. So I hope this part is clear. So if you want, you can take a screenshot or something. But yes, so if you want, you can take a screenshot. Okay. So as I said before, Japan does not really provide you with scholarships, but there is a MEX scholarship. MEX scholarship. And let me explain you what is a MEX scholarship. So basically, MEX scholarship is governmental system of scholarship. It's governmental scholarship program in which you get the 100% in which you get the 100% covered. No. Let me explain it like this. So MEX scholarship is basically an opportunity for you to study in Japan totally for free, including your tuition fee, your living expenses, your everything that you need.